Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Sanjay Chaturvedi. In the FEMA series, this is the fourth series in this. What we are going to now cover today is how the NRIs can purchase and sell the real estate in India, how they can purchase, and if at all they want to repatriate the funds, then how they can repatriate the funds. So today, huge potential as far as the real estate is concerned in India, and a lot of NRIs, very specifically from the Gulf region, are investing heavily in the real estate and the Indian properties. Let us now understand in this particular series that whether the NRI, if at all he purchases, or what are his rights, how can he bring the money inside the country, which from which money he can buy the real estate. So these are some of the questions which we are going to answer today in the series. Any acquisition and transfer of immovable property in India, a person resident outside India who is a citizen of India, we call it NRI, can acquire by way of purchase any immovable property in India other than the agricultural land, plantation, or property, farmhouse, whatever it is. He can transfer any immovable property other than the agriculture or plantation property or farmhouse to a person resident outside India who is a citizen of India, OCI or NRI, a person of Indian origin resident outside India, and a person resident in India. Now, these are the three categories where he can transfer the properties. Okay. Now, he may transfer the agriculture land, plantation properties, or farmhouse acquired by way of inheritance or by way of only to Indian citizen permanently residing in India. Now, payment for acquisition of such properties is very, very important under the FEMA. It can be made out of the fund received in India through normal banking channels by way of inward remittance from any place of India, and or funds held in any non-resident account maintained in accordance with the provision of the foreign, that is FEMA, and the regulation made thereunder. So the and as per the guidelines of the Reserve Bank, RBI, such payments cannot be made either by traveler's check or by foreign currency notes or by any other mode than other than the specified these two methods. Which are the two methods? One is the fund received in India through normal banking channels, and fund held in any non-resident NRE NRO account maintained in accordance with the RBI norms. Now, a person resident outside India who is a person of Indian origin, we call it OCI right now, PIO previously, can acquire any immovable property in India other than agriculture, farmhouse, plantation property by way of purchase out of fund received by way of inward remittance through normal banking channels or by debit to his NRE, NRO, FCNR account. Secondly, by way of gift from a person resident in India or an NRI or a PIO or OCI. By way of inheritance from any person resident in India or a person resident outside India who had acquired uh, what we call such properties in accordance with the provisions of the foreign exchange law enforced, like for example FEMA regulation at the time of acquisition of the property. A PIO or the OCI may transfer any immovable property other than agricultural land and plantation farmhouse in India. And what are those? By way of sale to a person resident in India, by way of gift to a person resident in India or non-resident in India or a PIO. A PIO or OCI may transfer the agricultural land or plantation, farmhouse or whatever, and by way of sale or gift to a person resident in India who is a citizen in India. Now, let us see what are those repatriation norms as far as the property is concerned. The repatriation norms are that in the event of sale or of the property and the immovable property by an NRI, other than the agricultural land and the farmhouse or plantation property, etc., the authorized dealer, that is the money license holder, will allow repatriation of sale proceed outside India, provided there are three conditions. First is that the immovable property was acquired by the seller in accordance with the provisions of the FEMA in force at the time of acquisition by him or the provision of FEMA regulations. The second condition is that the amount to be repatriated does not exceed a. The amount paid for acquisition of the immovable property in foreign exchange received through normal banking channels or out of fund held in foreign currency non-resident account, the foreign currency equivalent as on the date of payment of the amount paid wherein such payments was made from the funds held in the NRI external account for acquisition of the property, so no profit. And in case of residential property, the repatriation of sale proceed is restricted to not more than two such properties. So if you make three, four, five, all the properties are not allowed. In case of sale of immovable properties, the purchase out of the rupee fund, suppose you have taken a rupee fund, the ADs or may allow this your authorized dealers may allow the facility of repatriation out of funds out of the balance held in the NRI or NRO account or PIO or OCI in their non-residential rupee, that is NRO account, up to US dollar 1 million per financial year, subject to the production of the undertaking by remitter and a certificate from the chartered accountant in the format prescribed by the CBDT. So this is how the NRIs can repatriate or transfer or gift the immovable property in India and purchase the immovable properties in India. You can always ask me a question by putting your question in the chat box or send me your question on editor@saptagula.com. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.